Hello, and welcome to my Creative Critical Reflection vlog for my coursework project, Internal, where I've produced an advertising postcard, an official website, and the titular short film. Today, I'll be reflecting upon my coursework in terms of the creative process, taking into account my research, planning, production, and post-production, using 4 key questions that will be highlighted before each section. I hope you enjoy the video. For my project, I tackled mainly conventions and representations of mental health issues and their sufferers. I feel like with the way I've produced my production, I felt happy with the amount of creative control I used, and I feel that the end result encapsulated exactly what my vision was. The initial aspect of my short film is the use of a cold open, which is where the end of the film is hinted at the beginning. Through my research, I saw the same effect used several times in similar texts, and I felt this was going to be powerful when placed into my own. To some, this could limit their creative ideas, as only certain genres can pull off a cold open correctly. But for me, this set off a chain reaction of creative enhanced ideas. The cold open starts to bend the ever so common convention and theory of equilibrium from my research. I found that many films produce a calm, conflict, resolution type of arc from their stories, and I want to produce a blend of conforming and non-conforming to this common rule. As I feel I would be able to begin to produce something that I could play around with a lot more and have overall more creative control, and not lock myself into a pattern that is seen in almost every other day films. Some conventions for genres were followed, such as the strong character interactions of a drama, in which I created creative dialogue through the use of the cloned character, and the unease of a thriller through the cloned character, and a suspenseful cliffhanger ending. This cliffhanger, a well-known aspect of thriller short films, was utilised due to the use of similar short films in my research using the same effect to make a more tense scene. Throughout all of my productions, I tried to make a representation of mental health sufferers as broken or damaged. Through this short film, I feel I produced something where I was highly creative with it, adding sections where it shows that he's put on a mask and is disguising his true feelings from his friends, hiding from any possible help and going down an even darker path. This was a lot more engaging for me to produce, and I feel fulfilled on how I represented the character. Of course, I did add elements to show the character is struggling with the use of pill bottles and excessive alcohol abuse. The clone that I created that was meant to be the true manifestation of the main character's true thoughts and feelings. While I feel I harnessed the idea of evil with this character to make a strong antagonist for the film, I feel I curbed my creative chances with the character as I only chose to portray him as angry and hostile. I feel a more creative and effective choice would have been to have the clone display several emotions and show the confusion and overwhelmed feeling the protagonist is feeling, similar to how people suffering from depression feel on a day-to-day basis. My location also allowed me to be uniquely creative, as I chose to produce an unlabelled town in the UK, which shows it to be somewhat quiet and with some aspects being a little run down. With the locations that I could only work with, I feel like I was extremely creative, shooting in several environments that were exciting to the audience. For my short film, I needed to make something recognisable and intriguing for my audience between all of my productions, to ensure branding was produced. One of my primary elements was the use of a title, Internal, utilising the Downcome font on every piece of my production. This unique font made this title stand out and was unique to many of the short films on the market. After searching through what seemed like hundreds of fonts, I found Downcome, which worked with my creative choices of theme, produced by the Scattered Face main image, which also creates a sense of branding across the website and postcard. This main image was used to produce a link between the two mediums. The short film utilises Dylan as a character who suffers from mental illness, and to people who see the website and postcard first with that prominent main image, should hopefully make the link engaging the audience further. The Scattered Face is almost like the logo of the short film. While creatively I'm happy with what I produced with a figurehead for my short film, maybe I could have done more in terms of making an actual logo or badge, something to visually link my brand, Harry Dale Films, to each production, instead of simply using the text, Harry Dale Films, to convey the idea, would have been more creative and make for a better sense of branding. Another aspect within my production was a colour scheme that featured cold blues and greys. These colours are used throughout my website and postcard to add to the dark themes of the film. Using them creatively, I made the changes in colour subtle yet powerful, as to produce recognisable colour branding between the mediums. I'm happy for how effective I was at utilising the colours without being bogged down with creative limitations simply because I used only 5 colours. This type of coherence with fonts and colours ensures that the audience can make the connections between each form. Something subtle yet prominent was the use of music in the short film and on the website. On opening the home page, you are greeted with the music from the short film, adding another layer of coherence to the work, a small addition that will make a big difference when the audience is absorbing my production. As a final point, I utilised the use of social medias throughout my production to develop online integration. I used all of the popular sites such as Twitter, Facebook and Instagram to produce a brand that wasn't locked down to just simple local cinema houses, but could be seen from all over the world. Creatively, maybe I lacked further integration, only using small symbols and links that would take you to these social media sites, whereas I could have used a Twitter feed on the website or an Instagram slideshow. Due to the nature of my short film, I don't expect it to be in cinemas for paid viewing. I understood this all the way back in my research and planning, where I decided I would release the short film through digital means such as YouTube and Vimeo, a medium with hundreds of millions of users every day. It would ensure that my exposure of my short film would be at its maximum. It is also possible that my film could be shown at film festivals and other critical events, as short films fit the mould better at these festivals over going straight to a commercialised cinema. Creatively, the release on YouTube and Vimeo did not change anything, and would have resulted in the same outcome either way. And my creative vision for my short film never changed, and the audience will be engaged as they are encouraged to seek help if they are affected by the tense themes of my short film. Additionally, these media platforms have aspects such as comment sections and rating systems, meaning an engaging discussion is likely to be produced, with possibilities of the director and the cast answering some questions and giving information of the short film. The product will have been advertised on social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook to extend the word of this production, and hopefully obtain a few more viewers. This advertisement comes in the form of a postcard, which will be distributed both digitally and physically. Physical copies will be printed to advertise at film festivals and for display in local cinemas, so regular moviegoers would have the higher chance of seeing my poster, and creatively I reached my vision of my physical postcard and am happy to present it to a possible audience as it engages with them with a strong main image and stark fonts and colours. With the digital postcard, it is the same, available on the phone, tablets and computers. This has almost infinite reach on the limitless web, so exposure is at its highest. While the postcard will still be effective giving important information, I feel more could be done to make it more engaging for a digital piece, such as making a GIF and implementing the animated effect used within the website, which could be more engaging for an audience on a digital platform over just a simple static image of the postcard. While I feel more could be done to harness the digital form creatively, a digital audience should still be intrigued by the sandstorm effect statically, and possibly visit the website to view the movie later. For the website that was found through the use of the link on the postcard, this was simple as it was able to be distributed through a computer. A lot of information could be found, including an embedded YouTube link to allow the user to watch the video directly on the site. However, a problem lies when people have different sizes of monitors other than a 16:9 aspect ratio. This means objects that will be cut off the side of the screen and restricted simply because you have a smaller monitor. While I try my best to cater to everyone, I feel this restricted me way too much creatively in what I could add onto my website, as I was simply too scared in adding too much that would be lost to some users. So to some, the product will be engaging as they can clearly see every aspect of the website and see all the relevant information. To others, they may be turned away by the unprofessional look as a text box drifts off the side of their screen and the pictures are not being fully viewable. Overall, my hardware treated me well and allowed me to produce everything creatively just as I had planned to. However, some hindrances were produced due to the quality of these said pieces of hardware. I wanted to produce some creative low-light scenes, lower than the ones shown in the film. However, setting the camera's ISO to a point where the scene is visible made noise almost unbearable and unwatchable, but removing the ISO would make it very dark and impossible to watch again, so that limited me on that side. Apart from that, my camera had the ability to film in log footage, meaning that I could take any shot that I had planned to, and I can colour correct it later to fit any theme, making it really creative to change up the theme. My personal computer is a high-end system with powerful specs, meaning that I can edit and render and export with ease, with no lagging, meaning that I was open to do whatever I wanted creatively, with any effect, no matter how extreme and tasking the effect is. And I didn't need to worry about tedium of lag and crashing. I chose Premiere for use in my post-production, as I knew that it has the capability to do anything as long as I know how. It allows for the kind of creative freedom some editing softwares just don't provide, as they sacrifice the simplicity for the ability to edit footage exactly how you like. For Photoshop, I found what is known as an action, a type of plugin that is a recorded event of professional photo editor. These can be easily implemented into my work and allow me to produce that stand-some effects seen throughout my production. This allowed me to be extremely creative as I was no longer restricted by the lack of technical ability on the program. In After Effects, I only used this program as it was necessary to perform the large VFX animated sandstorm effect, but more could have been done creatively if I had better knowledge of the program. Audacity was simple to use, however I focused too hard on just doing audio corrections, and I missed out on the huge possibilities of using audio enhancements, such as an audio distortion which would have made the clone character more creepy. Wix.com, while being a great program to use to produce a cookie-cutter website, with your own colours and fonts, and added shapes, however, I feel like this was sort of limiting to me, as you were only allowed to pick from lists of pre-made objects that you could recolour, with very little way of editing the direct CSS of the page. This meant that it was very difficult to make a truly unique website within their bounds, which misses out on the true vision for the website, and misses out on some great creative opportunities. Using Google, I found the Photoshop actions to produce the incredible sandstorm effect, and researched films similar to mine so I could begin to produce the groundwork of my entire production. Using Adobe's Colour Suite, I had access to limitless colour palettes. I wanted to produce something cold, utilising blues and greys. With a creative mindset, I went out and producing the colour palettes, and once I came to one I was happy with, I easily implemented into my work where I felt I work effectively and creatively, and adding it to my short